The light of the TV monitor wakes me up from the bright light. My hand must have bumped the mousse. I thought to myself as I start walking to the fridge. Mom is in the living room on her phone as usual. I haven't eaten anything since I fell asleep 4 hours ago. I was tired, but not tired enough to ignore my stomach. And I also had an episode of Black Clover to watch. My head was in sharp pain from 2 days of no sleep, and I could hear anime girl voices playing in my headphones. Walking, I noticed the bus stop. No one in sight. I thought that would unsettle me a little, but actually felt calmer knowing no one saw me glowing. Yellow and green lights my mouth automatically start watering up from the 7-Eleven neon sign. At this point, I felt a sharp pain go down my spine shivers. I whispered to myself I forgot my jacket. No going back. As the sharp pain settled in from my spine, a sharp pain fired to my head again. This time 3 times harder than before. After calming down, I noticed walking over the small village-like bridge in a city like this felt off. It always did. When I hit the door, all sorts of smells hit me. Beef, hot dogs, and a smell I can't describe. Burning air. I ignored the smell as soon as the sharp pain in the back of my head hit me so that my legs almost gave out. Walking through the rows of food, I make eye contact with the cup noodles and reach out for them. I lean my head super close to the noodles so that I can rest my head on the metal container. When I pulled the noodles out of the bag, my face was as close as you can get to the racks. When I looked up into the spot where I pulled the noodles out, 2 bloodshot eyes were looking back at me. It took a while for my brain to render what I was staring at, and when I did, they fell to the floor, not caring how hard I would hit as long as I broke eye contact with the thing that was staring back at me. Still carrying the noodles, I walked to the cashier, holding my nose. The burning smell got to the point that I couldn't breathe through my nose, so I asked the cashier, "Do you smell that?" He looked confused, and he replied, "Smell what?" I slapped $5 on the table and walked out. The more time passed, the faster I started walking. At one point I had a light jog going. After I crossed the bridge, I saw the bus stop. But this time not just the bus stop, but a man. Or now that I think about it, this thing was sitting at the bus stop. It had a long upper body with a slumped body looking at the ground, and a lot of hair, not like human hair. His whole body was covered in this bird-like feather. I thought to myself, just don't make eye contact, your brain needs sleep, you're seeing things. My jug got a bit faster this time, and as I was looking at my legs go back and forward as I asked for air, I heard a noise. Let me be clear, it wasn't like someone dropping something or a word out of a human. It was like scratching, but organic. I picked my head up to look at the bus stop. Something was extremely wrong. The poster on the bus stop read, "Murderer on the run in Texas called the Feather." Attached to the news was an image just like the bird guy sitting on the bus stop. It took a while for my brain to comprehend it, but my spine almost exploded with electricity shivers going down it. It was him, but he also wasn't there anymore. This is when I realized the noise coming from behind me. I was looking back at something I can't describe, the bird-like man smiling with his eyes as wide as they can be, the feathers glued to his skin with hot glue, and his skin at 2nd degree burns all over it. At this point I am on a full sprint, and when I looked back, he was staring at me from at least half a block away. I am almost there. The sharp pain is completely gone, and everything feels like a movie. As I run up the 3 steps, I crash into the door, reach for the handle, and open and close the door behind me. My mom asks if I am okay, and I say, "Nothing, I just got spooked." I didn't want her to worry, and also at this point my stomach started to hurt more than my head. I walked into my room right after the noodles were done. I looked out to my window. It was open. I almost passed out when my eyes made contact with the bird guy from before. He was pointing at my soup, not like he wanted it, more like he wanted me to look at it. The last thing I remember is looking down into the soup and seeing the same 2 pairs of red, bloodshot eyes looking back at me. The room was spinning, and my heart pounded in my chest. I stumbled backward, trying to catch my breath. I couldn't comprehend what was happening. How did that bird-like man find me? What did he want from me? I rushed to close the window, my hands trembling. As I turned back, I saw the reflection of those bloodshot eyes in the glass. They were still there, piercing into my soul. Panic surged through me, and I reached for my phone to call for help. But as soon as I unlocked it, the screen went black. The battery was dead. Frantically, I searched for any other means of escape. My eyes landed on the closet door. I darted toward it, praying that it would provide me with some semblance of safety. I squeezed myself inside, trying to keep my breathing steady. The darkness of the closet enveloped me, but I dared not close my eyes, afraid that the Birdman would find his way in. Minutes turned into hours as I hid in that cramped space, the sounds of my own rapid heartbeat drowning out any other noise. Time seemed to stretch on forever, and I began to question my sanity. Was this all a nightmare? A hallucination caused by my sleep-deprived state? Just as I started to entertain the thought, a loud crash echoed through the house. It was followed by heavy footsteps steadily drawing closer. I held my breath, my body tensing as the closet door creaked open. Moonlight spilled into the room, revealing the silhouette of the Birdman standing just outside. He lingered there for a moment, his bloodshot eyes scanning the room. I prayed that he wouldn't find me, that he would leave and never return. But fate had a different plan in store for me. With a slow, deliberate movement, he turned his gaze toward the closet. My heart raced, and a cold sweat drenched my forehead. I pressed my back against the wall, hoping to blend into the darkness. The Birdman stepped forward, his feathered body brushing against the clothes hanging in the closet. I bit my lip to stifle any sound, my entire being trembling with fear. As the Birdman drew closer, something inside me snapped. I couldn't bear the torment any longer. Summoning every ounce of courage I had left, I burst out of the closet, letting out a piercing scream. The Birdman recoiled, surprised by my sudden emergence. Without a second thought, I dashed past him through the open door and out into the night. I ran as if my life depended on it, fueled by sheer adrenaline. The streets blurred together as I sprinted through the empty town, not daring to look back. Eventually, exhaustion caught up with me, and I collapsed onto the ground in a secluded alleyway. I gasped for air, my body aching and my mind reeling. As the adrenaline subsided, I couldn't help but wonder if it was finally over. Was I safe now?